Hey guys, so welcome back to the MultiCloud DevOps Engineer training. We're going to talk about two very important concepts as we move forward with our installation. One is configuration driven execution, and other would be how to make the most out of the scripts that I provided and this training on your own. Okay, so the first thing, configuration driven execution, this you have to understand really well. And what it essentially means is move all the configurable parts of your code in your code outside into a separate file. So whoever wants to reuse your code, they can just modify that configuration file and make use of your code. Very simple concept, but not used enough. And because it's not used enough, leads to all kinds of problems. So pretty straightforward stuff for you guys right now. Just one tip, remove the defaults from your variables.tf. And the second thing is add these validations in your variables.tf. Getting back to the Terraform.tf vars, the things that are in use are the resource group name, the location. Make sure you're using the exact same thing that I used in the README file. You would have used something different. This is your DevOps organization URL. This project is not in use for this particular demo. I just created for the next demo. So you can ignore that. Agent pool name could be anything. So you can change it. The VNet address space this is what will get created in an empty resource group. And we will talk about like what if you have an existing configuration where you want to plug this in. For the VM, this name can be anything. This is the machine size, that's the cheapest. Admin username could be anything. I have just used Azure admin. This is the key that we created on your local machine like a few minutes ago. Agent version, definitely change it as this video gets old. The storage account is actually not, again, something not in use for this demo, but in case you run into problems and you have to use diagnostics on that VM, this will come in handy. Tags are always great in a production environment. I don't really have a whole lot of sensible tags, so I'm just going to leave this as it is. Okay, so that is the TF vars part 1. Now there are two variables that I have not put in this file because I have checked in this file into a public Git repo. So there are two things that I don't want to publish there, and those I'm going to call them as sensitive variables. And I'm going to put them in sensitive.auto.tf vars, and those two are ADO underscore pat. I have worked on this so many times, I just remember. Okay, and my underscore IP CIDR. So this is the IP from which you should be able to connect. This would be your IP. So you have to go to whatismyip.com and you will use that something like this, and the last will be 32. That means just one IP address. That's a networking concept which we're not going to get into. For this demo, I'm going to use 0.0.0.0, something I would not do in a production environment. But again, easier to show in a demo. And so I'm going to leave that as it is. For the ADO pat, it is your personal access token. So for that, I need to, okay, I'm using different browser. So let me go to Vivaldi. Now here, I am going to create a new token. I'm going to call it a test token for now. And we are going to follow the principle of least privilege always. So you are going to need access to the work items. Okay, so I had a little pause, and I don't really want to go into the details of like all of these. That's going to make this too long. So to reduce the length of this video, I'm going to go with full access. Do not do this just like that 0.0.0.0. Very bad practice. But just for this demo, I'm going to do that. So now this token will vanish once, as in you won't have access to it once you close this window. So let's put it in, and this is required for deploying, registering the agent with the Azure DevOps organization. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to delete this token after this demo, so it won't be available for you. But coming back to the conceptual part, Terraform.tfvars is where like all the non-sensitive variables will go. Sensitive variables go into this file, sensitive.auto.tfvars, and of course I put that in the git ignore so it won't get checked in. And the last thing, going back to the TFRs. So as you guys saw, I created this resource group manually, but Terraform could have easily handled it. And that was one thing I deliberately did to point out that these scripts can be used anywhere you want. So let's say you have your own organization, own resource group, and let's say you also have your own VNet. So all you have to do is go into resources. Here the VNet is defined as a resource. Instead of resource, it will become data. Like this resource group I'm passing on as data because I've created it beforehand. So that was like the only reason I put it there like that. If it is not clear, leave a comment and I will respond to whatever questions you have. So those were the only two things that needed to be done. And next thing we're going to do, we're going to go into our directory, Terraform scripts. First step, Terraform init. This should work without a problem because I have tested it several times. Unpause. Terraform is initialized. Next thing will be Terraform plan. Plan. I'm going to pause again. All right, and that is done after about 2 minutes. And basically, it is good to go. Like nothing else needs to be changed except for those two files. And I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Again, not getting into the best practices of Terraform here. Like always a good idea to send this to an out file. But I'm skipping that part because this is not a Terraform training. And auto approve. And let's go. Okay, so it has created the agent pool. Let's see. So Azure DevOps, organization settings. And that's the new pool that just got created. Now the agent is not going to show for a little bit because like I'm doing quite a few things in that script. So going back here, what we are going to need is the IP address of that machine, and we will only get that after this deployment is complete. So I'm going to pause again until this is done. It takes about 2 minutes. Okay, so that is done, and the agent public IP is here. And this is the SSH command that we're going to use. Actually, let me modify this. By the time you guys will see this, I would have modified it. It's slightly different. Well, we use the public key to log in. So I have copied that instruction here. Okay, now as you can see, that agent is still not visible here because, like I said, it's a very small machine size that I have picked up, and it takes time for the installation to complete. And I keep using the Mac shortcuts, and it does weird stuff in here. So let's use this. Okay, so it has done Google Cloud CLI install, and there are still a bunch of different steps left. So that's where I would request you guys to go in depth in this file, the cloud init YAML.tmpl. The main thing to notice here, like most of the bash scripts that you'll see out in the internet, lacks instrumentation pretty bad. And instrumentation is basically these messages. What happened? Like, did it complete successfully? Was there a warning? Was there an error? I had a lot of failures the first time I built this script, so that's why I put like very detailed instrumentation in this code. So definitely go through this file in depth for the debugging effort, for your learning. Sorry, not debugging effort. Okay, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna come back when this is done. And this is where most of your learning is going to happen if you run into any issues. Okay, it moved past that point. Now it's downloading the agent software. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so I just spent the last 2 hours debugging a non-issue. I was looking at the jobs, not the agents, but the agent is online. Okay guys, hopefully that was helpful. And now for the last and most satisfying part. I'm gonna get out of this place where I was logged in. Terraform, destroy, and so up through. Don't forget to do this, otherwise you're going to be spending money. The next Training is going to be federation between Azure DevOps and Google Cloud. And I should be releasing it in the next few days. Thank you guys, and have a good evening.